Welcome back to another step of the folding chair. We're now going to do step 10, which is the 3/4 inch hole layout required for the pieces to be able to come together. Okay, so what we need today is we only need one part A, which we don't have to do this to all of them, just one of them. Okay, and take a note that the measuring tools required are a steel rule, a combination square, my favorite tool of all time, and an awl or a center punch, and a sharp pencil. I always like to say use a 0.7 and a pencil divider. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to set the combination square to 25 millimeters. And the reason we do that is because this material here is, you probably will remember a long time ago, is 50 millimeters in thickness. And so we need to find the middle exactly. So I take a combination square like so, and I have it set up for 25 millimeters. Okay, and remember that you want to have this thumb screw really tight, or else it'll slide and you could make mistakes. All right, on to step 2, which is use the combination square to mark 25 millimeters from the end on part A. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, here's my part A. Remember, we cut this angle or bevel a little while ago. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and it says come to the very end. So I'm going to make sure that the shoulder of the square is pushed up like so. And I'm going to hold it like so. I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw a line along there. Step number 3 is use a combination square to mark 25 millimeters from the edge and connect the previous mark. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to previously we did it this way, and now we're going to come across, and we're going to again hold the shoulder up against the edge, and we're going to make a mark like so. Okay. And number 4, from the step 4, from the 25 millimeter edge, mark measure 170 millimeters, and mark using a combination square to 25 millimeter center mark. Okay, so previously I didn't actually forgot to show you this, but what we want to do is we actually want to have a mark on the edge there, and then we're going to pick up our steel rule, and I like to use millimeters because it's pretty accurate. So I find 170 millimeters right there, or 17 centimeters, and then I bring it and put it on that 25 millimeter mark like so. Okay, and then you'll notice that I come across and I make a mark over here, and so then I go like that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our combination square. Sorry for the movement of that, and I come over to my 25 millimeter mark and making sure that the square is on the shoulder, and what I'm going to do is transfer that over, and there we go. I have my X mark spots. Okay, at this point, this is very important. Number 5, you don't have to do anything other than confirm your layout with your teacher before proceeding. Very important. I want to make sure that this hole gets drilled, and once they give you the okay, then you're going to move on to step 6. Use an awl or center punch to mark your 2 center points. Okay, so I'm showing you a awl today. What it is just a piece of metal with a taper on it. And what we're going to do, you want to get a hammer or a mallet, and you want to carefully position the mark the center punch mark right on the end like so, and just do a light tap. You only get one shot at this, so don't make sure that you take your time. Then I'm going to move to my other 170 millimeter mark like so, making sure that the tip is right on there, and then I'm going to make a mark. Okay, and then the final stage, final part is to set the pencil divider to 25 millimeters, mark the radius from the center point. All right, so you actually don't really need to, when I say set it, it's quite simple. Now that you've already got your radius of 25 center point, what you're going to do is you can play around with a divider until the pencil just makes a mark on the edge, like so. And we'll zoom in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go over here, and we're going to use that center mark to make a radius like so, which we will clean up and trim off on the next step. So this area, you can remind yourself that you're going to be getting rid of this in the next step. All right, so just to remind you that we have, so now we have a 25 millimeter radius, and it's also 25 millimeters from this point here, 25 millimeters from there, and this is 170 millimeters from these two centers, and this is very important. So we want to make sure we do that. All right, and wait for the next step. Thank you for listening.